What's up guys, my name is Ace, and this week's aftermarket part in Modern Warfare 3 is the JAK Gunslinger Kit for the Basilisk. And with this, it turns out it changes the gun quite a bit. So in today's video, we're going to be going through all of the details, and then toward the end, I'll be sharing a couple of my favorite setups to use with this new kit. And diving right into it, one of the big things that this kit changes is our rate of fire, and more importantly, our pre-fire delay. So with the base Basilisk, our effective rate of fire is 140 rounds per minute. Keeping in mind, that's not what you'll see stated in game, but this is the actual rate of fire you experience in game. And there is also a roughly 80 millisecond pre-fire delay. So when you pull that trigger, it actually takes 80 milliseconds for the gun to go off. And that's always been one of the big downsides of the Basilisk, whereas with this new kit, it solves that issue entirely. Now, once again, our rate of fire stated in game isn't quite perfect with the JAK Gunslinger Kit. It states that it's 400 rounds per minute, but I've measured this multiple times, and the absolute fastest you're able to fire with this is 371 rounds per minute. But more importantly, our pre-fire delay is essentially eliminated with this. Now, I put 0 to 5 milliseconds for our pre-fire delay, since I suspect the reason we can't quite get to that 400 round per minute cap is due to the fact that there's just the tiniest trigger delay mixed in there. But even testing frame by frame at 120 FPS, I wasn't really able to consistently detect a pre-fire delay, so it might be 0 or it might be just like a few milliseconds, but regardless, it's completely imperceptible. And what this means for our time to kill potential is you'll notice up close, we actually have a worse time to kill potential at 162 milliseconds, even though that's still an incredible time to kill for this game. However, at a distance, we get a better time to kill potential with this kit at 323 milliseconds. And let's dive a little bit deeper into that with our range and time to kill comparison, also showing the various body multipliers, because that is very important with this gun. And as you can see, in that maximum damage range, with the base Basilisk, you can actually get a one-shot kill to the upper torso, neck, or head for a 0 millisecond time to kill, although you may also want to factor in that 80 millisecond pre-fire delay there. Whereas beyond that, it maintains a 2-shot kill potential to the body as long as you're hitting upper torso when we're talking about the really long-range situations. As for the JAK Gunslinger Kit, you can see there is no one-shot kill potential with this. Even to the head at point-blank range, it will be a 2-shot kill, and it can take you up to 4 shots to kill if you're shooting them in the legs right up close and personal, so not a very forgiving gun there. However, as long as you're hitting the upper torso, neck, or head, you will maintain that 2-shot kill in the maximum damage range, which is quite short. It's only 6 meters or so. Then beyond that, it's going to take us at least 3 shots to kill to the body, although it becomes less and less forgiving as the ranges go on, and it can take you up to 5 shots to kill at longer ranges if you're shooting them in the leg, which is extremely unforgiving. However, I do want to point out, if you're able to maintain that 3-shot kill potential with this gun, you're going to be killing noticeably faster than a 2-shot kill with the base Basilisk. And that's really where the upsides come in with this, combined with the fact that we also get an 8-round cylinder rather than a 5-round cylinder, so you have more shots to be spamming out there toward the enemies. Next, let's have a quick look at hardcore game modes, and it turns out whether you're using the base gun or this Gunslinger Kit, it's going to be a 1-shot kill at any range anywhere in the body in hardcore modes, and therefore, if you're playing hardcore with this, you definitely want to use the kit because you no longer have a perceptible pre-fire delay. That's a huge thing for hardcore modes, and then on top of that, you get that 8-round cylinder, and you get a noticeably faster fire rate, so if you do miss a shot, it's not going to be nearly as punishing to get that second shot off. And I go so far to say that in hardcore game modes, this kit may be one of the best guns to use overall in hardcore game modes. After that though, let's have a look at our recoil, and you might notice in the advanced stats, we actually see very noticeably improved recoil values, but since our rate of fire is very noticeably faster, we actually end up seeing a lot more recoil when spamming this gun compared to the base Basilisk, which has very, very little recoil because there's so much time between each shot to recenter. The JAK Gunslinger Kit doesn't have that same time, and especially between the first and second shot, you tend to see a pretty big jump. So I wouldn't really want to be spamming this gun at really long ranges, but generally speaking with a pistol, you're going to be keeping yourself up close and personal, and in those ranges, this recoil probably won't cause too many issues for you. After that, let's talk about handling a little bit, and our aim down sight time is noticeably improved with this kit over the base at 136 milliseconds. Also, our sprint to fire time is slightly improved, it's just 72 milliseconds, whereas with the base Basilisk, this is 80 milliseconds. Both of those values are very fast though. And then finally, our reload add time is actually improved a bit as well at 2.67 seconds. It's still a bit on the slow side, like that's not a fast reload by any means, and you may want to combine this with one of the vests that improves reload time or the mag holster perk. But it's nice to see that it's at least a little bit faster than the base gun. But then finally, for our notable stat changes here, our hipfire values are also very noticeably improved when using this kit. And that wraps it up for all of the base stat changes. However, I also want to talk about Akimbo, since you can combine Akimbo with this kit, and it actually changes up not only our rate of fire values per gun, it also changes our damage values per shot. So let's compare this kit both without as well as with the Akimbo attachment. And it turns out with Akimbo, our rate of fire per gun is roughly 600 rounds per minute. Again, in menu, it's going to say 800 rounds per minute, but it doesn't appear to be quite that fast. But in either case, I was surprised to see this. I thought maybe that rate of fire increase in the menus was just to simulate the fact that you're able to fire both guns at the same time. But this is our per gun rate of fire, and you can see it is very, very spammable and super, super quick here. And what this means is our time to kill potential in Akimbo, if we're hitting our shots, is 100 milliseconds for a 4-shot kill if you're firing both guns at once, so it's effectively a 2-shot kill, and then 200 milliseconds for an effective 3-shot kill. Again, that could take up to 6 bullets, but you're firing both guns at the same time. And next, let's have a look at our range and damage reduction when using Akimbo. As you can see here, at point blank range, it's going to be a 4-shot kill to the upper torso or a 3-shot kill to the head, and it could take you up to 6 shots to kill if you're shooting them in the legs, and that's at point blank range, so very, very unforgiving in that area. The second damage range is fairly similar, although it's less forgiving for arm and leg shots. And then finally, in that minimum damage range, it's going to take us 5 shots to kill to the upper torso and up to 8 shots to kill total to the legs. So our damage values are completely destroyed when using this Akimbo kit, but there's still technically some great potential there if you can manage to hit your shots, and especially if you can hit your shots to the upper torso. So I've noticed if you can really keep yourself super close and personal and you have a good trigger finger, you can absolutely make the Akimbo attachment work on this gun. But just know, it's not going to be your best bet when using an Akimbo pistol. There are many Akimbo pistols out there that are going to perform significantly better than this. But then finally, I thought I'd just show off our hardcore ranges as well. And you can see in Akimbo, we're no longer guaranteed a 1-shot kill, although we do at least maintain a 1-shot kill potential to the upper torso at any range. And with that, it is time to move into a couple attachment combinations I wanted to share for you guys. And let's start off with my setup using the single pistol with this kit. With this one, we're using the 10.5-inch FTAC arrow barrel, which gives us a nice range boost. We've got the Corvus LZR 790 to help with our aiming stability and aim down sight speed, although that is a visible laser. I threw the Mark III reflector on there as well for an optic. You can use whatever optic suits you though. And then finally, we've got the Bryson dual grip. And with this setup, you can see our recoil is not amazing. Again, you do want to keep yourself fairly close with this. You don't want to try to be spamming this at longer ranges. But up close and personal, this recoil is just fine. Our aim down sight speed is harmed by a noticeable amount, but it's still very solid at 201 milliseconds. That's still going to be faster than most of the guns that you end up against. Our sprint out time is also great at just 72 milliseconds. With that barrel, we're increasing our range values by 27% compared to the base kit. And our bullet velocity value is also improved slightly. So that's the first one, and I'd say as long as you're treating it right, you can definitely make this work. You have to make sure you're trying to hit that upper torso, neck, or head though as much as possible. You definitely don't want to be mixing leg shots in there because that'll destroy your time to kill potential. Then for the second setup I wanted to share for you guys, this is my Akimbo Gunslinger setup. And with this, we're using the Bryson Snubby barrel, the Basilisk grip laser, the Akimbo attachment combined with the Gunslinger kit itself, and then of course I threw on the biggest optic you can find because I just love the I have no idea what I'm doing challenge, and there's no other attachment slot that we're even able to use. And with this one, you can see we are improving our hipfire spread as much as possible, especially for our maximum hipfire spread, which is going to be our spread while firing and moving. And that is quite important so you can hit those shots as you continue to fire. Our sprint time is excellent again at 72 milliseconds. And we do get a solid time to kill potential with this in Akimbo if we're staying up close and personal and if we're hitting the right body multiplier zones. And with that, that is finally going to wrap it up for the breakdown of the JAK Gunslinger Kit for the Basilisk pistol. And when it comes to my thoughts on this, I would say in many ways it's a nice improvement over the base Basilisk, even though we are sacrificing that 1-shot kill potential. But at the same time, it's far from my favorite pistol. It's very, very unforgiving when it comes to body multipliers. And while I consider it to be like a fun, unique challenge, there are so many other pistols out there in this game that are objectively better by a very large margin. Now, of course, those are just my thoughts on this kit, and I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about the JAK Gunslinger Kit for the Basilisk so far? If you enjoyed this video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.